Welcome, everyone. I'm Adam Edwards, CEO of Telarus, and joined by me today, we've got the crew from RingCentral. First of all, Vlad Shmunis, the CEO, founder, and chairman of RingCentral here. Also, SVP of Operations, Curtis Peterson, Jose Pastor, SVP of Product over the video product we want to talk about today. And of course, you all know Zane Long, the SVP of Global Channels for RingCentral. So we're going to jump right in and talk about the current situation as the world has shifted and RingCentral has raced to the forefront in helping people in this work at home environment and helping partners not only run their business, but help their customers. Let's hear it first from Vlad. Vlad, tell us about the last few weeks and what you've seen in this unprecedented change.
Yes. Hi, Adam and everyone, and thank you for hosting us. Yes, obviously very strange times we're in now. What we saw in the last few weeks is unprecedented growth. We're seeing more and more customers use other facets of RingCentral in addition to traditional voice telephony. People are now using a lot more messaging and a lot more video meetings. So we are seeing double-digit, actually middle double-digit growth in both messaging and video as people are now forced to work from home. That became a new reality. We are also seeing actually triple-digit growth in application downloads. Many RingCentral's all-time customers have traditionally used us mostly for voice, even though we did have messaging and video capabilities for quite some time now. But I would say that people were content with voice before. That's no longer the reality. People are discovering RingCentral for themselves and using all of these other facets. And of course, we have quite a few new customers and prospects, and many of them are coming in through our COVID-19 response program. This was launched last week. We made RingCentral available to select groups who are hardest hit or involved. So current program extends RingCentral free of charge for 3 months to K-12s, to NGOs, so charitable organizations who are involved in the fight, as well as to healthcare providers. And, we see, of course, quite a bit of interest from all of those communities, many thousands of inquiries, hundreds of actual signups. We actually have one of the largest and very prominent school districts in the country now, trialing RingCentral. So quite a bit of activity.
So unprecedented growth. We're seeing this as well. You mentioned that people are going from just voice to video and other elements of the application. We're seeing that as well. Our partners are helping their customers right now that, hey, you bought the product, but you're really not fully utilizing it. All you did was replace your PBX, and now it's time to fully utilize it. So they're finally using these. Tell me, how is the platform sustaining this? How is it doing in terms of reliability under this unprecedented volume?
Yeah, so far so good, knock on wood. One of the core brand values for RingCentral is always on. We are one of the very few providers out there that would SLA 5 nines availability. And as a matter of fact, we have been running at 5 nines for, I think, over 2 years now. That is an industry first, has not been done before. I'm not, frankly, aware of anyone else who would do this across, all modalities. And this, it's not just a matter of luck. We've been investing into infrastructure and into architecture to make sure that we are as fault tolerant as is allowed, available given state of the art. We have multi-level redundancy. We have multiple failover algorithms in place. And look, we've seen Ring be used as a fallover application or service in prior crisis. We had West Coast specific events where we would move all traffic to the East Coast. We saw, or vice versa. So all of that is still in place. Okay. Of course, we have never seen anything quite like what we have now. But again, so far we've been holding up, and we're pretty optimistic that that's going to continue.
Great. So we've got stability on the platform. You're saying, look, there have been crises before. We've seen this on a smaller scale. And with your 5 nines record, you're confident in the continued stability of that platform. So in a new environment, when we've got these partners they're coaching their customers on what to do, start using these features or add RingCentral, what are some of the unique things that our partners should be thinking about in regard to the product and the platform, in addition to reliability, of course, being critical? But what are some of the other unique elements of the product that they should consider when talking to their customers now?
Yeah. So RingCentral is unique in the industry in that it seamlessly combines major modes of communication all into one single app from a single provider. We call it MVP, message, video meetings, and phone. It's coming in extremely useful, especially now, because we see people, as I already mentioned, extend use of RingCentral from voice or phone only to now messaging and video meetings. We see really interesting use cases, and even having to do with the crisis we're all in, to where, for example, we have medical institutions use our SMS texting capability to keep their networks abreast of what's going on. Okay. And then we see other people use Ring for remote learning. I already mentioned our K-12 outreach, and many other people are still are simply just continuing their lives best they can, given the work from home requirement now. So I would say that just feature functionality is very unique in the industry. We already talked about reliability 5 nines. It doesn't do anyone much good if the system works. I mean, it has to work, but it also user experience needs to be positive. Hopefully, you see, we're now using RingCentral for this conference. Hopefully, people see the type of quality we're able to deliver, even as our system is, growing almost exponentially, given the requirements. So that's a big differentiator. The fact that we're able to deliver this over the top. Okay. We've invested years, maybe a decade, into optimizing for public networks. And we are all, I'll speak for myself, I'm doing this from my home office. I think that all of us are at this point. And so there is no special, networking in place. There is no MPLS. It just works using publicly available internet. I can tell you it will work pretty well using cellular wireless connections as well. Okay, so that would be a big differentiator. RingCentral is the most global service provider in the industry. We have full service, as in native dial-in numbers in over 40 countries at this point. We have virtual numbers, IVNs, in over 80 countries, and that's on top of the 40. And then for some regions where there are regulatory barriers to telephony, and to be clear, there aren't that many regulatory barriers for messaging and video, but for phones there are. So we have legal workarounds. They have to do with installation of some gateways and networking gear, which by the way may be very interesting to this community, because here is your chance to sell that gear where it's really required by the government, those local governments. So in any case, we are able to light up today world's largest global footprint, okay, and of course our open platform. And maybe what I can do is just take a quick breather, and perhaps Curtis can talk a little bit about our open platform and advantages that brings.
Part of the excitement of what our customers, I think, are finding as they've moved to this work from home environment is that the breadth of modes, as Vlad was mentioning on there. A lot of people experienced our product from one dimension, but I think the one that's most exciting to the businesses at large is being able to take all of these modes of communications under one umbrella, and then all the open APIs of the platform, the open access to their data, the open access to functions and capabilities, and integrate it into their business flow. This is where we really start seeing the merge of communications and business processes really humming along. And if we're going to continue in an economy where people are working in distributed places, which we see that trend growing regardless of what's going on currently, that those open platform capabilities allow people to tie this into HubSpot. They allow it to tie it into their calendaring system. They allow it to tie it into their native workflow systems if they have them, their existing file share networks. If they don't have file sharing networks, we provide the file sharing for them. But it provides this great place to put the thread, or the communications can hold the glue together of all these different things going on in a company. And it's very easily coded. It's not like the previous generation systems where it's difficult to work with. The developer portal has thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of developers in it. And there's code examples, and they're sharing how to get into things and how to build these APIs around really robust flows. And that shop allows our customers to come in and see the published apps and go, ooh, I would like to integrate with that app, or I run this other cloud service. And really, you can start building a super robust, very hardened way of working remotely and working on site, which I think is going to be key to moving us forward and with these kind of events occurring.
Yeah. Great insight there, Curtis. With 10,000 integrations, I think it's hard for anybody to wrap their head around. I think that the things you've talked about are what resonate with partners right now. One, reliability. We've talked about that. Number two, the integrations to be able to work, like as you said, at different modalities, and that it's simple and easy to use. Those things are critical to partners right now. Jose, from your perspective, with regard to the video product, what are some of the unique aspects? Of course, we can't go through 10,000 of them right now, but the things that are applicable right now from your vantage point that partners should be considering that customers are going to want to know about.
That's right. So I think that's a great question, Adam. And especially in this, where we are in the world right now, I think mobile first is maybe more important than ever, because even when you're at home, you need to be able to move around. And so when we think about our video product in the context of RingCentral, that message, video, meetings, and phone together, what I think we're going to see a lot of benefit from, or partners can really embrace, is number one, it's mobile first. It's deeply integrated in that communication flow to help people work wherever they are, both formally and informally, to tie messaging and voice together. And importantly, for so many people working from home and with new folks they're engaging with that are not used to working on those machines, is this browser-first WebRTC experience makes join really easy, zero IT involvement for anybody around, really minimizing the overhead for your partners' customers. And I think that's just key, because they're stretched every which way from Tuesday in this era. So mobile, that tight integration, the browser-first access, and one thing that we haven't mentioned that's maybe more platform-wide is these integration with SD-WAN and ability to run on all kinds of networks. really, I think is a big leg up for the partners. And our video loves to work on those networks, even if they're skinny. We know a lot about that.
Yeah. Adam, I'd actually like to, no, thank you, Jose and Curtis. That's exactly right. I also want to add one more advantage in. And I want to caution, it's not for every customer, but for some customers, it is a, it's a must-have. It's sort of a, you get the deal, you don't get the deal. And what I'm getting at is security. And of course, security is extremely important to everyone. And there have been, well-documented security breaches from some of the other, players in the space recently. And look, nobody's immune. But what we have through our partnerships with some of the very leading brands, and AT&T, for example, comes to mind. We actually are unique in being able to offer to some, and I want to be careful here, it's to some customers, not all customers, but some customers, we are able to offer them what we call the homeland environment, homeland pod. And what that means is that we are able to provide an environment where all access is done by US or US-friendly personnel. And there is basically a well-defined list which countries are and which are not. But let's say UK would be, and many others would not be. Again, it's a unique differentiator for us. We don't talk about it that much, but if you are dealing with the public sector, especially at the federal level, that may come in quite handy. And of course, some of the higher security, perhaps some of the financial organizations, even some of the medical, because unfortunately there are all kinds of bad actors out there. So this is another deterrent.
I had no idea, so I'm learning something here. That's very unique in terms of its offering, and I don't think it should be such a secret. I think we need to get that out there and let people know about that. One other thing you've done to engage in the current environment is you've offered free service for 3 months. I'd love to get your thoughts on that, and then turn it over to Zane for what he's seen on some of the front lines with our partners and how they're responding to that.
Yeah. So free service for 3 months. We launched last week. This to people most affected or most involved in the crisis. So K through 12. Probably most of us can relate to kids now being at home, and that also presents a tremendous challenge, but also an opportunity for remote learning. So as I mentioned, we have many thousands of schools now looking at Ring, and some of them are already deploying. As I mentioned, healthcare providers and some of the charities involved in the fight. Look, current offer is for 3 months. It's not going to be less than 3 months because we told people it's going to be for 3 months. We all hope and are keeping our fingers crossed that that's going to be sufficient. If not, we'll deal with that situation, and would not be unlikely that we extend to those communities. It would also not be unlikely that we extend the footprint into some other segments or sectors who could benefit given the crisis. I don't want to pre-announce right now, but expect that to come. But look, in general, we want to we want to help. Okay, first and foremost, we just want to help. We are uniquely positioned, with a global, robust, easy to use service that actually can make people's lives a little easier. And we definitely want people to, take advantage, to make it available to people as appropriate. But look, moving forward, again, speaking to the partner and agent community here, talk to us. If you feel that there is an opportunity to, either do public good, and look, we ourselves, we're not an NGO, we are a for-profit organization. We cannot do it all for free, obviously, and it wouldn't be good for this community either. But, sometimes a little bit of goodwill goes a very long way. So I would urge people to think out of the box. If you feel, and I'm looking at Adam, but through Adam at the entire network, which is quite large, is if you feel that we can do something that would make your sale easier, your relationship easier, even if it doesn't result in dollars tomorrow, or anything we can do, we're all ears. Do understand we have, a busy roadmap. People are working probably harder than ever, or in a long time. This now feels like our startup days back when, when there were like a small handful of people. And now this entire, 5,000+ person company is just running, running this sprint now, Anyway, you get the message, talk to us, talk to Zane, talk to his, to his channel managers, and, let's make it all better together to the extent we can.
I think that's an important message for people to hear from you, that we care, we can be flexible. And while we don't know the specifics of that right now, beyond the 3 free months, I think partners should take note of that if there is something of, hey, this company's worried they're going to have layoffs. And what does that mean for a contract if they're to move this direction? There's uncertainty. The fact that you think that way, that we want to help and that we have enough to give, I think it expresses to partners what they need to hear, which is, hey, bring us these different situations. Let's talk. Let's see what we can do. That's fantastic. Zane.
Yes. Yeah, Adam, I just wanted to make sure that your partner organization takes advantage of what we put out just last Friday. So we're making it easy for your partner community to take the templates that we built for LinkedIn and for Twitter. It talks about the free service that we're offering, and it just really makes it easy for your partners to grab it and post it and start to get the message out. And so also any questions as usual that a partner would have, or if a customer has a question they pose to the partner, make sure that you reach out to the channel managers, the RingCentral channel managers, or your channel manager with any questions you have on the offer, even on the posting of it to LinkedIn or the posting on it to Twitter, because the key here is to get the message out, right? To show to the customers that the partners have that we do care, that this is important, that RingCentral is making a difference. So let's take advantage of all of this to help your partners have an easier way of communicating out to their customer bases. That's what we're looking for. And then from you, Adam, I would ask that, any feedback you're getting from your partners in regards to what we did put out, is there something in addition that you think that we could do, that we should do, because we're ready and able to take advantage of that as well.
Great, thank you. And I've got to say, Zane, in this environment, channel harmony has always been a great concept. It's been a great program, but the fact that we're going out there together with the direct team, I think means more now as everyone's scrambling than it ever has, because partners know that they can win together and not worry about who's trying to take the situation away from them, but they're actually trying to help the customer together.
Well, I appreciate that. Certainly, the Channel Harmony program has proven successful, so thank you for mentioning it again. But also, I think it's important, Adam, I hope you don't mind me saying during this call, I do want to send out a holistic, total celebration, congratulations for a most amazing 91% year-over-year growth with RingCentral from 2018 to 2019. Oh my goodness, that's the most that any partner did last year. Making you, of course, one of our top and best partners. And Adam, you and I have known each other going on, I think, 18 years now. I just want you to know how much we appreciate the partnership.
Thank you. Thank you, Zane. Appreciate that. It was a
I'll
phenomenal
second that.
year of growth. Thank you. So I'm going to throw a curveball here. This has just come in this morning. As we talk to some of the folks on our front lines, talking with partners who are jamming these deals through, we see a lot of the bigger deals going sideways as companies are trying to figure out what do we do financially. Are we going to have layoffs? But these other deals that were close to the finish line are just getting pushed through. But a different element we're hearing from customers and partners is financial stability. They're tending to favor the companies who can show financial stability and directing business away from even perceived instability. But Vlad, can you comment on that a bit?
No, these are valid concerns. We are, $1 billion plus company at this point. We have managed to raise $1 billion in convertible debt at 0% interest, zero coupon, just 3 weeks ago. Seems like an eternity. I have to say, I'm quite happy we did. I do get questions, Vlad, what did you know? I didn't know anything, We just had it in our plans to beef up a little bit anyway. Nobody's immune, we believe, certainly I personally really firmly believe that this whole calamity, certainly in a weird way, is going to be a tailwind for us. Again, we already talked about how this is it's not a nice to have service, it's a must have. If a business, it's probably one of the last things a business would turn off, if not the last, right? You lose your connectivity, you lose your phone number, you're done, you're out, okay? So anyway, we think that we'll survive, and there is reason to believe that we'll come out actually stronger out of this. But having said all of that, it does help to be at our scale. It does help that we are profitable. We've talked, it's not an investor call, but if it were, we would remind people that RingCentral is not just about profits, it's not just about growth, it's about profitable growth, okay? And there are very, very few companies that are able to achieve that, especially at our scale. We are one of the most financially stable providers in the industry. And no, to state the obvious, we're not Microsoft, we're not Google, but guess what? Guess who number 3 is size-wise? That's RingCentral. So again, we're in as good a position to be in as I think is possible given the times. But, please help us keep our customers. Please help us get new customers, because no customers, no ring, So we need to continue our march.
Well, that's a phenomenal answer. I mean, for anybody to say, oh yeah, we are profitable and we're growing. Oh, and by the way, we brought in $1 billion 3 weeks ago at 0% interest, which obviously is not being burned because you're profitable. I can't think of a better answer to that question. So congratulations on the position you occupy today, the outlook you have toward the community of, hey, we want to help, we want to be flexible. I think that also answers the question. Some partners are coming to us saying, hey, are we going to get paid? Like, are some of these companies going to look at the channel as an opportunity to take my commission away? Do we continue to get paid? And not to put words in your mouth, but the position you guys are in, partners have a great environment within to work and to feel safe.
No, thank you. And yes, partners will get paid. I have personally not bounced a check in my life, so I intend to keep it that way. No matter what happens, as long as RingCentral gets paid, partners will get paid. You're the last people we would not pay, and but there is not anyone that we would not pay, so we're paying.
Wonderful. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much. We're at the half-hour mark now. I want to thank you for your time. I know you're incredibly busy, keeping the business world communicating and all of these massive volume increases. And and the fact that you would take time out of your schedule to speak to the partner community. We certainly appreciate it. Thank you so much for your partnership. Thank you for your dedication and your flexibility in your message today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Adam, and let's go get them.
Thanks,
All right.
Adam.
You guys take care.
Thank you, Adam.
Have a great
Appreciate
day.
it.
Bye, everyone.